Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Today I wanted to cover the Bitcoin halving and the upcoming bull run with you guys and what's going on with it, where we at, what are we going to have another bull run, are we not going to have another bull run? Well, I can tell you that things are kind of brewing up to be possibly the perfect storm for the ultimate Bitcoin bull run. So I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, please give this video a real quick like. All right, let's jump into it. All right, Bitcoin currently at 27,000 as of this recording. I'm probably on vacation right now as this video comes out, so who knows what's going to happen in bullish October. The price could fluctuate between when I'm recording this and when the video is coming out. So I got to record these ahead of time when I go on vacation. So there's an article out here called a Positive Black Swan Event. This is by Pantera Capital. I'm going to put the links for these in the description of the video for you guys, but it kind of goes over how the XRP ruling it could affect the upcoming Bitcoin market and the Bitcoin halving and everything else. They're saying a positive black swan event. So they were saying that basically, you know, if XRP were to win the SEC lawsuit, and they did get an initial ruling from the judge saying that XRP was not considered a security, the coin itself, only the early ICO sales of it was considered like a security sale with a contract, but the coins itself do not have a contract, so the judge ruled that they cannot be a security because there's no contract between the coins and the investors. So secondary sales looks like is likely not going to be considered a security, and hopefully this holds up in future court rulings, but this is a perfect storm brewing for it. You can read this article and it kind of goes over their reasonings for this. You know, they're saying, you know, hey, if this XRP is declared not a security, this could be the real perfect storm for crypto booming in the upcoming bull run. Because in the last bull run, we had this lawsuit looming over us, and we still did pretty well in the last bull run, even though we didn't get quite as high. A lot of people thought Bitcoin was getting up to 100K and only got up to 69,000. But you know, that still had a lot of this looming over us in the last bull run. So this lawsuit now, with the winning, you know, there's still some aspects of it in court, but the overall ruling that XRP and secondary sales is not a security is one of the factors that could be bullish for this upcoming bull run. And they go into this in detail here and why that could be, and they discuss it here because a lot of exchanges could start listing XRP again, which they have. And you know, another thing they're saying on here is Web3 gaming is now officially underhyped. There's not really anyone talking about Web3 gaming right now. But as you know, Web3 gaming is going to be the future just because of the fact that, you know, there's lots of, like they say here, memorabilia and esports, information and benefit of the markets. They've got all these calculations in here and how and why Web3 futures will win out, or features will win out, because basically you're going to be able to physically own your digital assets on the blockchain and have full control over those and full ownership of them, and you'll be able to transfer them with you to your other games. You'll be able to sell them on the secondary market, things like that. So Web3 is the future of gaming, and I think that's going to be another aspect of this that was just touched on in the last bull run. And there's other things on here that you guys can read over. I'm not going to get into all of it. They go into some MEV calculations and that. So with the Bitcoin mining. Another thing is the Bitcoin ETFs. Now, if you look at the schedule here, the SEC keeps pushing this out and rejecting these Bitcoin ETFs. But they've clearly come out and stated publicly now to Congress that they agree that Bitcoin is not a security, that's a commodity. So there's no reason why they wouldn't approve these ETFs. And they just keep intentionally pushing them out. Now, if you look at the dates here, you know, like ARK Invest, their first deadline was June 29th. The second one was August 13th, and these were rejected. The third timeline is November 11th, and then the final deadline is going to be January 10th for that one. They're going to have to make a decision on this one, it looks like, by January 10th. The other ones, the deadline is going to be right around the middle of March, and the Global X one is going to be the middle of April, which is right around the halving. So these are going to be right before the halving that they have to make a decision on these. Looks like there's going to be between a 75 and a 95% approval odds of these ETFs. And so if they get approved right in time for the halving, that's going to be another thing that's into the calculation for a perfect storm for this upcoming bull run. And we've got this Bitcoin rainbow chart here. We're still in this blue area. And if we do a projected forecast, this kind of gives you, this isn't guaranteed by any means. This is just kind of a historical chart of what Bitcoin has done in the past. And based on this curve here, if we get up into 2025, and if we look at let's go to around the end of October for 2025 when they think the Bitcoin bull run could peak out. That's going to put us in the orange zone, in this light orange area. That's going to put Bitcoin in the $145,000 to $185,000 range, just in the orange area. And if you've watched my videos on this chart before, as you can see, there's kind of a trend here. We get these blow off tops in the past where we get up in the deep red, and then the last one we got up into the light red, and we didn't have a blow off top. We had a double top, so we're starting to see some of this where it's cooling off a little bit, and these bull runs aren't quite as strong as they are previously. So if we get into, let's say, the orange and light orange zone here, that's still going to put us in that $150,000 to $175,000 Bitcoin or higher. If you go to that chart again for October, you're looking at Bitcoin being somewhere around the if it gets into the dark orange, that's $185,000 to $235,000 Bitcoin in the dark orange zone. So we could see Bitcoin get up above that 150,000 to close to 200,000 in the upcoming bull run if it gets into this orange zone here. So that's another kind of factor to keep in mind. I don't think we're going to get up into this red or dark red zone anymore. I think it's going to slowly start cooling off. They may need to adjust this curve in future bull runs, but as we get more bigger investors involved in Bitcoin, it's going to start calming out these markets, especially if we get regulation. Another thing I want to say is a perfect storm for these upcoming bull runs is we got Congress really working hard to get clarification on positive legislation for crypto. There are some legislators and congressmen and women out there that are kind of negative on Bitcoin and crypto, but they're mostly on the Democrat side. But we got a lot of people and even some Democrats that are fighting for positive legislation for crypto because they don't want to miss out on the technology aspect of it and the benefits that come along with that. They want technology to thrive in America, so they want to come up with decent regulations so crypto can survive and get out all the negative aspects of it with people getting scammed and hacked and stuff like that. So we may have some legislation in place that's going to allow regulators to come in and have clarity and have exchanges have clarity on how to operate in the United States, and that'll help hopefully bring in some better exchanges with crypto, and hopefully Coinbase may have won their lawsuit against the SEC by this as well by the time the bull run's taking off as well. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of things coming into play here for this upcoming bull run, and it could very well be the perfect storm for crypto to thrive in the United States and take off. We also have the 2024 election coming up at the end of 2024, and they're going to be probably becoming more relaxed on crypto regulation before that, so they can get that that voter base in from crypto, because 25% of households in America use crypto, so they're not want to be too negative on it because they're going to want that. They're going to want those votes. So hopefully we see some aspect of our government make some positive regulation for crypto before the election. There's another article here called The Perfect Storm, Why We're Approaching a Massive Crypto Bull Run. They've got in here, number one, the world's biggest asset managers enter the crypto market, and that's the ETFs that I'm referring to. They're also doing some Ethereum ones. Interest rates in the remarkably stable market. Even though we're at crazy interest rates right now, and I know all of you are feeling it out here, crypto is still thriving and still doing well, as bad as the economy and the interest rates are. people are starting to hedge their money into crypto more because they know that the US dollar is not going to get them the stability that they want, and the banks definitely are not either. So another thing they've got on here is the Bitcoin halving effect. That is the catalyst for the bull run. Typically, you're going to have the reduction in the ability to produce Bitcoin cut in half approximately with each halving. So it's going to be more scarce as of April of next year. So all of these things coming into play could end up being the perfect storm for the ultimate bull run, and I'm hoping that's the case. Now, whether we get a blow off top again, or we get a more rounded approach, or we get a double top, is yet to be seen. It's just going to kind of depend on how all this stuff comes into play and how the economy is doing at the time. But hopefully, we'll have a more booming economy by then, especially if we get a president in 2024 that comes into office in 2025 and starts making some positive changes with the oil prices, because the oil prices affect everything. That's what's pushing everything in the markets up in price. Your groceries, all of your commodities, everything you buy at the store, everything is affected by gas prices. And these stupid people out there that think that we're going to do better by cutting out our oil supply and lowering how much oil we're producing, and try to push everyone into electric vehicles and everything electric and regulating everything. They need to freaking wake up, because everything we do out there, like 90% of our resources out there use oil, and we're not going to be able to shift to electric anytime soon. It would be a better approach for them to come up with better ways of producing electricity that are cheaper and less polluting for the environment. Like, they really need to relax on the regulation for nuclear power, because nuclear power is safe. It's been proven to be safe, and it's cheap. Once they get the nuclear power plants built, nuclear power is very cheap and very sustainable. And ever since we had the nuclear plants not being built anymore decades ago, it's really impacted our ability to produce high quality, cheap electricity. So hopefully we'll get some people in there that know what they're doing in office and try to get some of this mess straightened out, because we cannot support the electric vehicle supply right now with our electric grid. We're not even close to being able to support it. So we're going to need oil for a long time. So hopefully we get some common sense people in our government that realize this and make some changes. And yes, we want to be green, and we want to be energy efficient, and we want to move towards more electric use in the future, but they really need to build that infrastructure first before pushing into it, because otherwise we're going to put ourselves in harm's way and kill our economy while we're doing it. That's just my opinion out there. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's how I feel about it. I'm all about going green energy, but we need to be smart about how we're doing it and not cut out our main supply of power in the process and destroying our families out there that are struggling with these ridiculous prices for everyday living expenses. So, but anyways, it looks like we could possibly have the perfect storm. If we get a booming economy and all these other things come into play, we could have an explosive bull run. So hang in there. These times are the toughest part of the accumulation phase. A lot of people just want to get out of this phase and get into the bull run, but it's going to be a while, more than likely, before we get into a bull run. So just hang in there tight. I'm going to continue accumulating as much crypto as I can for this bull run. And whenever it happens, it happens. Eventually, we're going to have a booming economy, and crypto is going to take off, because it is the future, and that's where everything is headed. So keep that in mind. I really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. Please give this video a quick like to get the videos out to more viewers. It really helps get this out to more viewers. And that's pretty much what I got for this video. We'll see you on the next one.
Tell me what you need.